It's 9 p.m. on this train, so it's pretty empty. There's just one person back there, quite far away, so I'm gonna film this now because I wanted to get all of my thoughts out because I don't want to wait until I get home when my thoughts aren't as fresh. It's been too long already, so I just went to a David Larby poetry event, a book signing, and I'll get my book. He is a famous influencer online, but he spreads joy and hope through his poetry, his little poems that he posts online, and this is his first book, and it was really quite profound. Like, I was having profound realizations. Don't come this way. Okay. So basically, at the end, there was a question section where one of the people asked, what do you do to feel moments of joy in this corporate busy world when you're just stressed all the time, where you can't take a moment for yourself? And then David Larby replied, it's mindful moments for a reason. It's opposite on camera, but it's frequently happy, 52 mindful moments to bring hope and joy. And David Larby replied, that's why it's called mindful moments. It's about making daily rituals. This is what I got from it. It's about making daily rituals of things that make you happy. Just taking a moment out of every day, even in your busy, stressed life. Just what he does is every time he boils the kettle in the morning, he'll just take 10 minutes without his phone to just think his own thoughts and to just be, and to just not think about emails or anything. And it got me thinking about things that I don't do. Every morning, I'm trying to create habits these days about things that make me happy. Going to the gym, it makes me so ecstatic and joyful, and I love it, but I don't do it. Reading in the evenings makes me so happy, I don't do it. Picking out an outfit for the morning, I love fashion, I don't take the time to do it. And this is what I want to bring, this is the point, time. And it's ever since I've been waiting for my callback. Time has been my enemy. I have waited, frustrated, because my career is stagnant right now. Nothing is happening in it, and it's been like that for fucking years. And so time has been my enemy for a lot longer than the months that I've been waiting for this callback. And I know I'm gonna get it, but I've hated time for so long. But when that woman said that, it got me thinking about how, and especially because the other day my dad said that money doesn't make you rich necessarily, time makes you rich in this world where everyone is just working all the time, no one has any time for themselves. Time makes you rich. And because of what he said and because of what the woman said about her busy life, it made me realize that I should be grateful for this abundance of time. And that is a thought that has not ever crossed my mind, apart from maybe when I was on holiday, like I want this to last forever. But time has been my enemy for so long that the idea of being grateful for it is just so outside of the realms of what I would normally think. I've never seen the train cabin up close. Wow. There's the train driver's seat just in front of me behind these closed doors, but I don't take the time to make myself happy, even though I have an abundance of time, because subconsciously, even though I've already had this realization and I talked about it in a previous video, subconsciously I've been trying to speed things up. by not working, but doing as many things that I consider productive, creative projects in a day, because I'm trying to speed up this process of the callback just coming faster. And because of that, I don't allow myself to do the things that make me happy. And I've been wanting to do the things that make me happy. I've been wanting to create these habits, but every morning, this morning, I looked at my my wardrobe, and I thought, I'm just gonna make the base outfit today and then accessorize later, so that I have more time and I can just get straight into making the next video. But I never allow myself time to do things that make myself happy. And his entire point, David Larby's entire point, was about taking moments out of your day, maybe even make them into habits and rituals every day, to do things that make you happy. And I have a goal already. Do one thing a day that makes you happy. But it's not about the big thing, is what he was saying. It's about the small little moments in life. This flower is pretty, you know, there's not that much laundry to sort today, you know, just the little things. And it's because his attitude perfectly goes with what I already thought, one of the things I already thought. I'm very lucky that I've never seen happiness as a goal, because my dad, he teaches me a lot of things, and he said happiness is not a goal, and you don't have to do things and then say, oh, once I do this I'll be happy, once I do this I'll be happy. No, happiness is a journey. Happiness is now. Happiness is every moment that you think good thoughts. It's a positive attitude, and I'm so glad that I know that, because everything that David Larby was saying was resonating with me. I was like, I already know this, but it's what I've been learning, and the realization that I just had. It's about time. And I think I need to make myself slow down and just do things, not because they're productive, but because they make me happy. I need to do things purely for happiness and not for productiveness. The small things every day, making sure that I get dressed up every day, you know. If skincare makes me happy, I really want to make that a habit, but it doesn't bring me joy right now, so I need to find ways to actually enjoy it, like luxuriate in it, and then I'll be more inclined to do it. It was just so profound, that realization. I should be grateful for the time that I have. It doesn't have to be my enemy. Like a lot of people in this world long for time, and I just want it to go. I just want it now. I don't want to wait anymore, but in this time I can do things that make me happy. And I think that I've gotten into a thought trap of, even though I'm preaching this, I've been thinking, okay, I rush and I say, when I get the call back, when I'm training, which is another dream of mine, when I meet my soulmate, I'll be happy. And so I've fallen into that trap myself, that thought pattern. But it's like, I don't know how long it's going to take, and I cannot keep waiting on the edge of my seat, because that is essentially torturing myself, and I don't want to do that to myself anymore. Of course, I've known that for a while, but I need to live every day as if I'm not waiting. I need to live every day as if this thing that I know is going to happen, because this callback that I know I'm going to get, I need to forget about it day to day, because it's all I fucking think about, and it makes me miserable because of the fact that I don't have it yet. I need to live every day and by doing things that make me feel happy. And just talking about it now is making me mad, and it's like, I think one way to make time less painful while waiting is to actually take the time take the time to do things that make me happy. Because then I'll maybe associate it with, oh, now I can just lay back and do whatever I want. Now I can just, take the time to make myself look nice in the mornings. It was just so profound. And then, serendipitous moment, I looked over at a paragraph of this book that the girl next to me was reading, and I don't know if I can find it now, but it was in winter, so this is the paragraph that I just one second. Sorry, I'm just filming a video right now, so I might be talking a bit loudly. Are you okay with that? Cool, thank you. Okay, so this is the paragraph that I read, that I looked over and read, and it was so meaningful that tears welled up in my eyes. When circumstances have been difficult for a long time, it can easily feel like hanging in there is nothing to be proud of, but it is. Continue is a verb that grows in meaning the longer it is in practice. Continuous engagement with anything, a task, a job, a passion, a relationship, takes continuous effort. To continue when circumstances are difficult is one of the most taxing things to do. It is the most draining thing to wake up with a heavy heart. It adds weight to every interaction, challenge to every obligation. Simply enduring is one of the most understated shows of strength there is. This is what I'm saying. This is what I've been saying. There's a video that I'm currently editing that says this exact thing, and I've said it once before. Going through challenging times makes the simplest things seem impossible. Weariness can be cumulative, and just the thoughts of going through the same motions and the same feelings again can be exhausting enough to bring tears in the eyes. In the midst of it though, simply continuing is enough. You don't have to prove anything, show your strength, or even feel particularly good. So, and this is what this feels like. I've always, over this thing, I've always said, I've started to think, what is patience but endurance? Long, hard, slow, plodding endurance. When there's nothing, when you can't see anything, and it's just endurance, it's just this thing, this bad thing in the background, and all you can do is endure. And so I when I read that paragraph, it brought tears to my eyes. Then I opened my own copy of the book, and it was so serendipitous, because I opened the book and it was exactly what I was thinking. And just listen. I've always liked getting things done quickly. I walk quickly and hate slow walkers. I eat quickly and then get food envy. I was even born early, arriving at the end of December when I think, do you want my ticket? I was even born early, arriving at the end of December when I was due at the beginning of February. I always think, if I can get this done quickly and move on to the next thing, why shouldn't I? I was never afraid to leave an exam hall early, and if a corridor was empty in school, I ran along it, because why not reach the other end twice as fast? As a result, a line I have heard many times from the authority figures in my life is, more haste, less speed. For many years, ironically, I was in too much of a rush to hear it. What did it even mean? That's what I want to know. I researched the meaning the first time I heard it. The broad universal definition is, when one is in a hurry, one often ends up completing a task more slowly. Now, you can imagine just how impressed I was with that, especially given that my experience was completely different. When I did things at my pace, they were successful and I felt better for it, so why would I change that? As we grow older and gain more control over our lives and decisions, it can be hard to accept the things that remain outside of our control. The speed at which things moved began to frustrate me a lot as I moved into my adult life. In particular, the speed at which I was moving towards my goals. The law of attraction is working here, is all I can say. I found that forcing things to go faster wasn't working as well as it had before. I could see how much worse off I was for taking shortcuts, and I didn't like it at all. Not only that, but I also didn't know how to deal with it. How do you suddenly learn patience after an eternity of rushing? Less speed, less haste, and more perspective. Things often move at a speed that is out of your control. It takes conscious effort and practice, but it's possible to be okay with this simply by being kind to oneself when it comes to personal progress, or by accepting things that are outside of your control. And by focusing on the good instead of the constant enduring thing in the background. Just because the speed at which things may seem frustratingly slow, especially when the end goal is so clear, it does not mean the journey has to be rushed. And I feel like this is something that I've needed to learn for a long time, because the first time that I ever thought that my rushing was a problem was when I went on holiday, and I made an entire video about this, but I deleted it. But essentially what I learned on that trip was, even during the at the beginning of my holiday, I was rushing everywhere, and God made it more obvious by my sister Sinead saying, I'm gonna take my time to do everything I want. I don't have to rush. But whereas me, I was rushing to have fun. I was like, until I get on my first water slides, my holiday hasn't started, I was rushing. And over that holiday, I learned what it is to relax, because I had forgotten. Because I was subconsciously trying to speed up the outside by being speedy and never slowing down myself. I've never said it like that before, but that makes so much sense. And the thing that I took away from that was, I have all the time in the world. And at the end of that trip, I resolved to do things that make me happy, to slow down and to read and to sing and to read webtoons with relaxing music in my ears. But I don't, because as the days turn into weeks and the weeks turn into months, it all blurs together, because there's no structure in my life, because there's nothing going on. It all blurs together, and I just get into a rhythm of doing productive things and not taking any time out for myself. And I just go. I never stop. And it's really, I have to consciously, and I don't, but I need to consciously like make sure that I do things that make me happy and take time out of the day to just be joyful. And it doesn't even have to be big things like sitting down for hours to read. Like, no, as David Labby was saying, it's about the small moments, and I completely agree. Productivity makes me happy, but it also doesn't. The amount of things that I get done in a day, if I get things done, makes me very happy, but it also is conducive to rushing. Not rushing, but rushing. Not allowing myself to have time for the small things. And I was reflecting on how happy I was at the start of last year, and it was because I went to the gym every day and meditated every day. No question, I did it every day. And those two things make me so happy. And when you don't have set things in place every day that make you happy, you just get into the routine of the same shit, but without things to break it up. So it's just a structureless blob of 100 weeks with nothing, and it's awful, and it's so hard to keep a routine. But what was my original point? So I did these things every day, and it made me really happy. But something else that I also did was, I recently started an app called Finch, which is a self-care app, and one of the prompts that you get points for doing is it's like a self-care game, and one of the you get points for doing habits that you write into the system yourself. Like, these are the habits I'm going to do today. Every time you tick off a habit, you get points, and then you get to do whatever you want with your Finch bird. And I started this game at the start of last year, and one of the journal prompts was there were journal prompts that encouraged you to think about and write about what you were grateful for. And I got into the habit of writing about the small things that made me happy and grateful. And that, the absolute joy, the joy. And I took a week out in July to just do nothing, but as a holiday, not just I feel like I should be doing something, but there's nothing to do, but I'm gonna force. It wasn't like that. It was a holiday.
Step onto the platform before removing heavy.
And I was really happy there because the sun was shining, nature was beautiful. Every day I went out and sat by the river and ate a really, really cheesy vegetable lasagna from the local pub, and I would write lyrics. This was when I was starting to write lyrics and poetry with the goal in mind that, yeah, eventually I'm gonna make music, be a pop star. And I was so happy to just write poetry every day by the river with the sun on my face. And occasionally I did get heat stroke because I was just sitting outside all the time. And I had to like take breaks. I had to go back inside. It was just joy. But I also started to it was a variation of my gratitude thing. Every day, I started doing this thing on this holiday and I haven't done it since, but it was just glorious. Every night I would just sit with my warm light on in the corner every night of this holiday, and no phone, no nothing, just sitting up on my bed and just speaking out loud to God and thanking God for all the great things that had happened that day, and basically generating gratitude and that positive emotion. And I really want to do that again, but in the endless stagnation, obviously there's an end to it. I keep having psychic dreams there's an end, but there has to be an end because change is inevitable, change is the only constant. But it made me feel really good, that habit. And my point is, there are several habits that I did back then that I don't do anymore, and I was much happier back then. And I'm gonna start doing those things again. Because time is the thing that's like, no, I'm gonna be productive today. I'm gonna get straight onto the video without doing things that make me happy, without even getting ready properly. I don't care. I don't have to go out, so why would I just sit on my desk, pajamas, and just fucking do whatever I'm doing. And the creativity makes me happy. Like I love writing poetry. I love making certain videos. The video I'm making at the moment, not this one, I'm editing another about, it'll be like called Analyzing the Neverending Story movie or something, about Jungian psychotherapy and shadow work. And because that's something that I am passionate about talking about, I enjoy editing that, because editing at the end of the day, even though it's repetitive and it's kind of soulless, it's still creating something. And it's not even about that. It's about the fact that I'm making something that I'm passionate about. So the productive things that I does make me happy, but not. It's more like a satisfaction. But sometimes I don't give myself the time to reflect on those emotions and to think, and to reflect on what I did and feel those emotions, you know. I don't even give myself the time to feel fucking happy about the good things I've done. Do you see what I'm saying? It's about time. No, I'm gonna start doing that. I really need to start doing that. This event was just great anyway. It caused many profound thoughts, as you could just hear. There was one thing that he said at the end, just as a side note, that really stuck with me, and it made tears come to my eyes too. He said, "Everyone here is smiling at me right now, and to be honest, it's making me quite emotional." And he was visibly getting emotional. He had to take a few moments just to breathe, and it just... That's another thing that I wanted to say. In my other video, I talk about how one of my goals in the future, when I am famous, when I have a platform, I want to talk about healing. And that's what the other video is about. And it's no coincidence that I was making that video today, and then a few hours later I came to hear him talk, because his mission is very similar to mine. It's about spreading joy and spreading that positive attitude, and it was just like I was relating to him on such a deep level, because I knew that he had suffered pain. You can just tell, you know. And I feel like every person in the world has suffered pain, even children. Like, of course, children are no stranger to pain, even though people think that children should be happy all the time. An untruth. The fuck am I saying? There's a whole lie. You only understand happiness when you understand pain, is what I'm trying to say. And I could tell, and I related to him on such a deep level, because he was talking about how in those dark moments, hope is even more important. Joy is even more important. And that's exactly what my next video that's gonna come out that I'm editing is about. And it's like, it was just incredible. It was an incredible synchronicity, just everything all around. And I feel like this is so fated too. And it is, because it led to this realization. But I only found David Larby's Instagram posts a few months ago. And then I just happened to stumble on Waterstone's events page, and I was like, oh my gosh, David Larby is having an event. You know, just instantly, it was like I found his page, and then I just happened to go on the Waterstone's event page, and he was having an event, and then I came to the event, and it was like the synchronicities, and it's just so fated, and I just love it so much. I just love it so much. It was like I was meant to come here to have this realization. And the very fact that I'm making a video right now, that I'm making that other video of just a few hours before I came to this event, is also no coincidence. It's just, everything is so serendipitous. The way that I looked at the person's next to me's book, the paragraph that she was reading, I read from her book. The way that after a few diary entries I clicked, I flipped to the exact one that I needed. This is so good, and it just made me so happy. And I was happy in the crowd there. I was smiling the whole time. I was joyful. He brings such joy. David Larby is such an inspiration. And yesterday I did a tarot reading for myself, and it was all about, I know that I'm talking loud, so that I have no right to really be mad at the person playing music, but it's still annoying me. The tarot reading was about, I didn't even get to reading the good cards, because I saw the Death card, which is about transformation. I saw the Ten of Swords, which is about painful endings. I saw the Hermit, which says go inward, like retreat into your cave and look inwards and do shadow work. And I was just like, I've seen enough. And then I was watching a SpongeBob episode, which was just about fucking butterflies, and butterflies are the symbol of transformation. And then I got an oracle card with a butterfly on it, and I was just like, I don't need to hear anymore. I wanted to read the good cards, I just never got around to it. But it made me like, for fuck's sake, more transformation, more shadow work. I can't be bothered. Because even though I preach about how healing is so important, how shadow work is so important, when it comes around to doing it myself, it's not fun. It sucks every time. And it's like the world pushes me into lessons that I don't want to learn. And it just, but the good news is that I think that whole reading was about today. Not necessarily my own shadow work, but the realization that I would have today. The fact that I made a video all about healing today. The fact that I came to this poetry reading with a book about how to be happy even in the dark times today, which is what the movie that I'm analysing, where I compare it to shadow work and healing and Jungian psychotherapy, is about. Happy moments in the dark times. And it's just like, God is just so amazing sometimes, and I don't say that enough. I love the serendipity. I can hear the train driver watching fucking Netflix through the door. It's quite funny. My original point was, he's doing exactly the same as what I want to do, spreading joy, spreading healing.
We are now approaching.
It's 10 p.m, but do you think that I can edit? Get home off this train, you know, drive from the car park to my house, get this video out in 2 hours before tomorrow? I could. It really depends how much I've filmed. I mean, I know I filmed quite a bit, so. But there it is again. Me giving myself a fucking time limit. It's habit. It's habit. I'm gonna do it by this point. I don't have. This isn't a corporate deadline. I have all the time in the bloody world. I don't need to. When I think about deadlines and I've got to get it done in this time, it makes me feel stressed, and that feeling alerted me to what I had just thought, which is why I talked about it. Life just goes on right now, but I need to make an effort to think more positively, to look at the mindful moments in my day, to give myself the time to be happy, and not even like the big things, which was what he was saying, just the small things in life, you know. And I find, like how I found last year, that when I think positively, obviously thoughts lead to emotions and emotions lead to thoughts, but when I'm in a positive mood, sometimes it's very difficult to go from when you're unhappy, it's very, very difficult to think positive thoughts and to make yourself happy, but it is possible. And I find that when I do that, I start to see the happiness in everything. Like, I drove around my hometown just seeing beauty in everything. The sun is out, the sky is blessing me, you know, that sign is so pretty, laced with flowers, you know. And it's just those little moments, those little things that you notice, but when you're so deep in despair, you don't notice the joy around you. But it's about getting into that mindset so that I see the joy around me. Positive thinking, that's all it is. Even, especially when there's shit in the background. And I was thinking the other day, maybe there'll always be bad in the background of my life, and maybe the point of this lesson was to show me that I need to focus on the good despite the bad, because that's what I was doing. And another realization that I had, I wrote a diary entry about it, was that I don't know if you can see my eye twitching behind my glasses, but I learned to do that when I was a kid. Anyway, it's always my left eye that twitches. I can't do my left. No, it's always this one. My right eye, not. Anyway, the diary entry that I wrote was about how there may always be bad in life, but am I going to focus on the bad and make it the foreground of my life? Am I going to make it my focus? Or am I going to focus on the small little moments of happiness and hope in my life? Am I going to bring...
If you see something that doesn't look right, speak to staff or text the British Transport Police on 61016. We'll sort it. See it, say it, sorted.
Okay, so am I going to bring it into my foreground, or am I going to keep it, or am I going to make something else my foreground, the happiness, and make that the background? Because the thing is, like, when I first wrote it, I was like, there's always this feels like there's this constant thing in the background, but I was focusing on it. Even though I called it my background, it was my foreground. And I just need to focus on the good, and not let it derail my life. Not let the focus of this bad stop me from living my life. Just to get on with things. You know, the acceptance that things might always be wrong, but that's all the more reason to focus on the positive. And I really, obviously this specific bad thing is not going to last forever, because change, as I said before, is inevitable, but there may always be the background of my life. And there may be completely joyous moments that are just full of joy. And I don't think there's going to be any length of time where there won't be any negative emotions, because of course there will be. I'm human, but throughout my life I have always had to endure something. But
welcome aboard this.
Not like this, not like the past couple of years. And maybe that's just because I'm noticing it more now, because I'm writing about it, because I'm healing from it, because I made it a point that
We are now approaching.
that endurance led to... This is really hard. Fucking hell. My thoughts keep getting derailed. I was gonna say pun intended, but my humor is more about sarcasm than puns anyway. But I really feel that endurance like this has never really been a thing for me. Maybe just because I was not aware then, because I was just in survival mode. I wasn't thinking about how endurance actually taught me patience, and how it's a good thing if you look at it in a certain way. Even though it doesn't fucking feel like it when you're going through it. I was enduring something, and then I was enduring something else, so it's been like 2 or 3 years where I've been enduring just constantly, no breaks, like a fucking relay race. Endure this thing, and overlap, endure this other thing. I just want it to end. And I know it will. It really sucks. It's just so exhausting. But this video is supposed to be positive, so I'm quite happy that I had this realization today. Everything is serendipitous, and God is amazing, and I'm gonna start doing these habits, the consistency of the gym, because I love going to the gym. I don't do it though. And I want to. I miss it. I miss it, but I don't give myself the time. So I'm gonna start giving myself time. But yeah, summary over, video concluded, about to reach my stop in 2 stops. Then I'll go home, edit this video, and hopefully have it out before I sleep. Let's do it. One more thing before the video ends. David Labby signs every single book with a unique poem, a unique like rhyming line, and it's just so cute. It made me happy. So I'll read it out. It's so cute. Dear Uma, may reading each word bring the joy you deserve. Labby. Or no, does that say David? D. Labby. I love it.